Hi guys, welcome to NelooTV. Your host here, Naderi. Today I have a very exciting guest, Dr. Jason Campbell, aka TikTok Doc. That's right, the man that has been blowing up the internet with his smooth moves and beautiful smile. Today we get into it. Why did he get into medicine? The history of his family and his mission to diversify medicine and get you guys into healthcare. Keep watching. Amazing guest. I'm so excited to have him. Dr. Jason Campbell, who is also known as the TikTok Doc.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing well, live from Portland, Oregon, hanging in there, doing well, and I'm really very glad to be on your show today. So thank you for having me.
So you are actually a second-year resident, that's right?
That is correct, absolutely.
In anesthesiology, so you're in and out of surgery. I see
Yep.
you have your surgery cap on. It's a nice green color.
A Ninja Turtle for you.
I don't know if you know this, but I used to work at a medical school in New York for a few
Okay.
years at Mount Sinai.
Know it well.
And I work with med students, so first through third years. And I met some of the most amazing people, you know, as the students came in. They were so wide-eyed and just had so much they wanted to give to this world. And it's amazing to see you kind of step up and carry that torch, not just for med students, but for everybody at the front line, nurses, hospital staff, administrators. It's really beautiful to see.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. It's been a long journey for myself to get here. I faced my own adversity, and so to be here now and just to be so inspired myself and humbled by the overwhelming support, it's really just been great, and I'm very humbled.
From the day I reached out to you on Instagram to today, you've doubled your following.
Yeah, that is crazy. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yeah, you know, that's how this whole thing started. I was talking to a first-year medical student. I was helping her with her own podcast. And I said at the end of that meeting, I'd really like to reach out to the youth and connect with the youth. I have some op-ed pieces I published in different newspapers that people are reading, but the youth aren't reading. And the people that I want to see it are probably not seeing it. And she said, well, TikTok is the way that the youth are functioning right now.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out to the youth, you have to go through TikTok. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself.
So I had to like lip sync and dance to these songs, and I was like, this is too much. But fast forward, here we are. I realized that I had to meet them where they're at to hopefully bring them to where I'm at.
It's probably also a nice mental break from all the studying you're doing, all the work you're doing at the front lines, to just kind of kick back and like dance a little bit to some really good music.
Yeah, no, and just to enjoy life. And that's what it's all about. Just, you know, stepping back, realizing that we do deal with patients, you know, even before COVID-19, patients that are younger than me, that are sicker than me. And younger than me that are on palliative care maybe. And, you know, life actually has a timetable for them, and a shorter one. And that, you know, you need to appreciate what we have. And one way to do that is a smile, a laugh, and a little dance.
Like a breath of fresh air to see someone walking through those halls that are all white, like everything's so cold, to see someone just kind of bring all that life and energy through the hallways. And that's why I love watching your videos and getting the rest of the team involved.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. And
thank you so much.
They're not watching you, they're doing it themselves. There's been like other doctors kind of, what is the thing they do in TikTok? They like copy each other.
Oh, like the duet, and then other dances that have been passed down and by some of the influencers. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, all over the country, you're seeing it. You're seeing it in New York. You're seeing it with nurses, with physicians, with cafeteria workers, security guards. I mean, we're all a team, you know, because the environmental services and custodial workers, they keep the operating rooms as clean as possible so that we can take care of the patients. So we work together.
Yeah, you come from like a family of trailblazers a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The post that kind of told me you got to get this guy on the show was the one with your grandma, and I actually have. Tell us a little about who she is to you, and also what you wrote about her two daughters and what they were able to accomplish.
So my grandmother is amazing. She's 96 years old. She's super sharp. She's like, I don't want to die. I'm like, I don't want you to die. So we're on the same page. She was born in New Jersey, matriculated down to Washington, D.C. as a secretary, ended up getting her master's degree in education in around 1960, 61. John F. Kennedy spoke at her graduation from American University. And
Wow.
this is
Wow. And
level
she grew up in a time of segregation, different water fountains.
born in
bus.
born in 1923.
Wow.
So imagine, you know, what we've gone through between 1923 and 2020. So she's seen all that, you know, to ultimately vote for an African American president, to vote for a female president, to not have been given the right to vote until like the 1960s, even though I know they talk about in the 1920s, but she really, you know, for an African American woman, she felt like they did not have the right to vote till much later.
Yeah.
And then she, you know, had these two daughters. One's my mother and one's my aunt. My aunt, I'll start with her, is vice president, one of the vice presidents of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. I think the only African American to hold that position. Elite in the performing arts world, to say the least. And so I grew up going to ballets I didn't want to go to and musicals I didn't appreciate. Until I was in high school, and I was like, oh, this is the best dating thing, you know. Oh, we can go to the John F. Kennedy Center to see, you know, The Color Purple with Fantasia or whatever you may have it. So so very special. And then my mom was the first PhD epidemiologist, African American woman in the country. University of Pittsburgh gave that, or she earned that degree from University of Pittsburgh back in the 1970s. The director of the Howard University Cancer Center for many years, and now one of the senior deans at Georgetown University Medical Center and the Lombardi Cancer Center. So this is
what does your mom say about what you're doing right now?
She just wants to know how much I'm studying. She's happy with it. She's enjoying it. But yeah, she's, you know, for the time being, she's like, I'm the prize. You know, we're gonna, you know, you're gonna finish residency. I want to do a 1-year pediatric fellowship to become a pediatric anesthesiologist. So that's the most important thing. And all this other stuff that was amazing, because she's known I've always been about diversity. Yes. Increasing diversity in medicine, increasing women in leadership, because, you know, I saw her growing up and that was normal. You know, Howard University in the 80s and 90s, and especially for me seeing it in the 90s, was the mecca for Black physicians, dentists, podiatrists, you know, everyone, different shades. And I'll send you, I've written about this, all different shades of brown and Black, all the top of their fields. Yeah. That was commonplace and that was normal. And so as a little Black boy running around those halls, I didn't even know or understand the magnitude, and just the magnitude of what I was witnessing. You know, I was just, you know, Mom, I want some gum from the gift shop. Right. And so so I was incredibly lucky to grow up in that environment. And I'll add that my father is a lawyer now, and he was the only one in his family to go to college. For me to be a physician, there were so many mentors I had, and he did too, but so many people that could say, oh, don't do that, do this. I can't imagine if you had no one else around you to tell you, you know, in your family, like, don't do that, but do this. Don't, you know, and so for him to have gotten as far as he did is truly amazing. And I will, you know, put it to you like this. My grandfather, my father's father, couldn't read or write. And then my father has my sister and I, who have 5 degrees between us, and one's a physician, my sister's in interior design. So change can happen with one person, as my dad clearly showed, and how important it is for each of us to believe that.
Wow, what I love about you, and it's clear from your Instagram page, from your dances, just from talking to you, you have this very kind of, your grandmother had this very heavy history, right? And like carrying all that generationally, but you don't carry the heaviness of it. You carry the torch forward. You do, and you have a lot of pride of where you come from, but I don't feel that like there's no chip on your shoulder, there's no heaviness, and it's just like you're just showing up, this is who I am, and inspiring other people of color to kind of see themselves achieving really great, big things. I totally get your mom's concern, because the time I was at the medical school, there was a kid there, student, and he had like a song that went viral. First year of med school, and he was offered a record deal, and he just bounced. He's like, I got it. You know. So I get your mom, because you're gonna get so many different things that come to you. By this time, you're a professional at what you do, and you've already made a very clear path forward.
Yeah, I think that makes it so exciting is that I am also a physician, and a resident in training to become an anesthesiologist, and hopefully one day a pediatric anesthesiologist. And I can dance and bring people together. I mean, you know, it's different if I'm an actor who's just dancing, wearing a white coat,
Correct.
reciting a few lines, you know. And so that's why I am preaching to the youth, but I need to carry forward myself. You can dance and have fun, but influence educational achievement, you know, influence educational acumen, influence people that can strive to be citizens and can serve others. You know, I mean, I'm talking about real influence, real change. And so to do that, I have to continue my own journey forward.
Celebrities are kind of taking a little bit of a hit during this pandemic.
You think so?
I've noticed that a little bit. And what's coming on the rise is appreciation for the frontline staff, both at the healthcare front line, but also like people of just working in the grocery stores.
Sure.
Helping our community move forward during this very uncertain time. And it's nice that you're able to step up to that challenge, and it happened so organically. You know, it wasn't like, how can I get a viral following?
Yeah.
Being at the front line and being, you know, you're still, you're a resident or you're a practicing physician, but you're still finishing your training. How do you think med schools across the nation or the world can better prepare our future doctors, not so much for the pandemic, but managing stress?
You know, the first thing is endorsing things outside of medicine. Hey, I want you to come in 30 minutes late today or 30 minutes later so that you can go on a morning run. Or that yoga class that you've never been able to go to in 6 months, I'm going to come in early. I'll cover the pager, go to that yoga class. You know, as an attending, that's what I'm going to be doing, because I've seen people do that for me. Oh, you know what? It's beautiful outside today. Why don't you leave at 3 instead of 6? So you can actually have some daylight hours to do something, as opposed to getting home during the dark hours like we always do.
Wake up in the dark, go to bed at dark.
Yeah, you know, things like that. So it's this endorsement of there's more to life than just medicine, and mental health matters.
Yeah.
And so we finally have started to realize that physical and mental health are equal. And so because of that, that's what you're seeing. And so that's what I want medical schools to do. And it's starting at the high school level, at the undergraduate level with wellness, you know, being like, there are people whose wellness is their job now, to create wellness activities, to seek out those that might need it more than others, to watch out for those that appear to be struggling but don't want to tell anyone. And so just that awareness and eradicating the denial piece has been so helpful, really helpful in, I think, moving us in the right direction for true undergrad and graduate medical education. Because once med school's over, you're like, I made it, but residency is its own beast.
Yeah.
Trust me. If you do it right, you can kind of keep yourself going with these different nuances, so that, like, this is so exciting speaking to you today, right? It's like, if you had asked me a month ago, this is not what I expected to be doing. 2 months ago, I was supposed to be in Cleveland, Ohio at a national diversity conference for medical students, pre-medical students, and residents. And here I am talking to you, and we're talking about the same issues, but, you know, so you got to go with the flow, take life on, and just see what life brings you.
I totally hear you. We, you know, in January, we had like our executive retreat for our company.
Nice.
We teach meditation, mindfulness. We have a podcast. We have a book club where we read very transformative books.
Nice.
So we set this whole plan in place, and the first, you know, up to February, we were on track. We were booking speaking engagements. We were supposed to be in New York beginning of April to speak at the Hero Roundtable conference. And then, you know, we all know what happened. And so it's like being able to manage the uncertainty and kind of take inspired action as it comes, right? We're still doing the same work. We're just doing it in a different way.
Right.
Yeah. You mentioned that, you know, you were blessed, right? You know, in hindsight, you can see you were blessed to have grown up in an environment where people that look like you were doing really amazing things.
Right.
We had a lot of mentorship, a lot of good examples. So if someone is watching this right now and they're a minority group, but they don't have that environment, right? Let's say, you know,
Latinos, Latinas.
They go to college, or they just come from low income, or maybe they're fresh immigrants from a different country. What's your advice to them?
So my advice is to reach out via social media or other avenues to those of us like myself that want to help you. Um, I might not answer right away, but I normally answer everyone that reaches out to me, and I kind of look to see what the message is, and any message about, could you read my personal statement, or what do you think about this? I've made a few phone calls today, yesterday, talking to pre-medical students and stuff of that nature, because I know how fortunate it is to have it and how it feels to not. And so reach out to people and don't stop with one. I think I've seen that, they're like, I reached out to one person and they never responded to me. So I just felt like, oh, like people don't want to talk to me. And it's like, no, that's not the case. You reach out to one person who maybe they had something going on, or maybe they just couldn't talk to you at the time. But there are those of us that do want to help. So reach out, you see something on social media, which is obviously just a huge avenue these days, reach out to us. Email and a direct message to show that that positivity, to show that you are determined, that dedication to your future, and then we'll give that back to you.
Yeah, beautiful. And like Tony Robbins says, he grew up with nothing, and his books were his mentors, the books that he read. And this was before social media was such a big thing.
Right.
So books were the most available form of like
Cool.
indirect mentorship you could get. But now we have you just at our fingertips, right?
Yeah.
And I can attest to what you said, because you responded to me right away.
Yeah, and thank you for your patience. I know it's been just a crazy kind of couple of weeks, but I was like, this is something I definitely want to do.
You're in Oregon at a health science university,
Right.
And you are inspiring people at your hospital, but also across the country and the world. So what advice do you have for the frontline staff, who might be feeling really defeated or exhausted? There was a group of Italian doctors that said they're no longer healers, they're selectors, because they're so limited on equipment and space that they have to select who gets treatment and who doesn't. What advice do you have for them to just keep going and keep their morale high?
Before, I have no advice. I have, my thoughts and my heart, my prayers that go out to them. We're very blessed that we're not in that situation. And I can't imagine being in that situation, so I won't even try to. I know a lot of us are thinking about them. I'm glad that a lot of physicians from other countries have gone to help them. Here in Oregon, we sent ventilators to New York. So try and do what we can, and thanks to our governor, Kate Brown. But to those workers, our hearts are with them, and I hope that things get better sooner. I hope that they know that we know they're doing the best that they can. That's all that you can ask, because unfortunately at times your best might not mean that you're saving someone's life, but you're doing your best, in a very tough and harsh situation. So our hearts are definitely with Italy, with all the countries, with the states here that are being affected mostly.
Such a humble statement to make, and comes from a lot of heart. I can feel your heart.
Yeah, I don't want the videos that I make to detract from the severity of the situation. Just want them to give people a moment to smile and to laugh about, and then and a moment away from reality. But if we stick in this together, we'll get through it.
Yeah, and taking the focus more and putting it a little bit on joy, even if it is for just a few
3 minutes or
seconds.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Campbell. Any final words?
Thank you for having me. For all my minority students that have always been told no, I hope that you hear me as a yes, that you can achieve what you want, that it does take time, that patience will help you in this, and just to keep pushing forward, no matter what.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you guys keep living inspired. I'll talk to you soon. If you like that episode and want more, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We have weekly episodes here on Wednesdays. Subscribe, like, comment, and hit that notification bell.